Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. And this is a guy, he is 57 years old and he lives in Australia. He spent his whole career in law enforcement. And recently, well, about 8 months ago, he started dating some woman. And right off the bat, she was asking him about where he stood financially. You know, was he financially secure and all that. And her reason behind all this, of course, not because she's a gold digger, no, but because she doesn't want a guy that can't take care of himself and doesn't want a guy to have to like mooch off her or rely on her for anything, right? Well, lo and behold, later on down the road, COVID happens, or it has happened, and it's impacted her job or her earnings. And now she's looking for this guy to take care of her and sell his house and use those funds to help take care of her and all that. Absolutely crazy. And guys, I've told you before in other videos, in fact, the video I just did a couple days ago, about the whole white knight thing, where guys want to be the hero and take care of the lady. You know, that bullshit that you see in the movies, or at least back in the day in the movies, you know. And in so many situations, it ends badly for the guy. You know, it's the classic nice guy. He's trying to do these things. He does these things for these ladies or this woman, whatever, thinking it's the right thing to do. He wants to be chivalrous. And it comes back to bite him in the ass. I did a video just a couple days ago where this guy, his neighbor, she was a single mom with a little kid, and she wasn't around to watch the kid because she had to work, and it was just her. So he started like looking in on the kid and trying to help him out, doing some babysitting and all that. And ultimately, when he moved away, and he wasn't there to help her out with watching the kid and all that, she tried to sue him for child support. All these months he was trying to help him out, and she ended up suing him for child support. Now, obviously, it didn't work out because obviously he wasn't the father, or he didn't get any money from her. He didn't give any money to her. But the point is, she repaid his thankness. She repaid his kindness by suing him, right? But he was doing the classic white knight crap. So I warn you guys, don't do that. It's unfortunate that you have to think this way. It's unfortunate you always got to be paying attention to the red flags so you're not taken advantage of. But there are people in this world that will do that and will milk it for everything it's worth. And if you know the old thing, like if you give a little, someone's going to try to take more from you. And it's kind of like this in this particular story. So I'm going to go through this here. You're going to see I'm talking about just yet another example why don't do the white knight thing, and always pay attention to the red flags. So he starts off, Dear SSM, I am a 57-year-old male from Australia. I worked in law enforcement for 37 years and have a significant pension saved. Well, I'm not an Australian, but thank you for your service in Australia as a cop. I don't know how things have been recently, but over here it's definitely a tough time for law enforcement, and anybody that's over here in the United States knows what I'm talking about here. I met a lady on Tinder 8 months ago, and at first she was interested to know what my financial position was. Without giving her too much detail, I advised her that I was financially secure. When I asked why she asked that question, her response was that she was in a good financial position and didn't want a man draining upon her in her later years. That was fine with me if she was willing to reciprocate. So this could go a couple ways, guys. On the one hand, this could be just a woman that's worked hard in her life, in her career. She's done well for herself. She's saved money. And quite simply, she's looking for an equal. A guy that's obviously equal footing. He can take care of himself. It's not going to drain on her, and so forth. And that particular area, I got no problem with. I really don't. And the same thing would go for a guy. I got no problem with him wanting, if he's going to be in a relationship with a woman, if he does relationships, that she's, you know, in the same tax bracket. She's doing well, can take care of herself. Again, as long as it reciprocates. On the other hand, given the fact that he met her on Tinder, that raises some red flags here. Because we all know darn well that Tinder can be a cesspool, and all sorts of interesting folk are on Tinder. So one has to, again, keep their eyes open. Is her asking him this question because she wants an equal, or is she looking for some guy to help or pretty much pay for her a meal ticket? All the food, helping her out in other areas, you have to ask that question. But according to him in the beginning, it was all about the equal. Well, we're going to see here, it wasn't quite the case. He goes on, During the course of our relationship, I have paid most meals out and do most of the driving. I have never asked her for any money. I don't mind, as the good times are worth this expense. Well, dude, she must have been pretty hot and pretty good in the sack, because in my opinion, If she is obviously doing well financially and she was inquiring about how you are doing financially, you should be paying for most of the meals out. I think that's a bunch of horse shit, because after all, in today's world where everything's supposed to be equal and women can do anything a man can do and blah, 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 she can most certainly pay for half the meals or movie tickets or whatever the hell it is. And with regards to the driving, I hope that doesn't mean that you're always getting in the car and driving to go see her. She can get her ass in the car and come see you too, after all, things being equal. You know, it's funny, it's always about equality with women, and they can do anything a man can do until the bills need to be paid or there's some snow to shovel. But in those two situations, all of a sudden, they want the man to do it. No joke. It goes on. Recently, however, she made mention of her decreased income due to COVID, and how one of her friends was shocked, when he wrote the word shocked that I was not supporting her. I couldn't help but think of the constant warnings made by you about red flags, and this one was massive. Again, in the beginning, she was inquiring about his financial position because she claimed she didn't want a guy that's going to mooch off her, basically, either later on in life or obviously now. But then he's paying for most of the meals out and obviously going out and dating. He's doing all the driving to her, and now because her income has decreased, at least I'm assuming, and it's going to be in the short term because this COVID crap's going to be over soon enough, she is looking for a handout, and her friend is shocked that she's not getting it. Meanwhile, again, all about equality. Why the hell should this guy have to take his hard-earned money for some woman he's only been seeing 8 months, and let's just say that they're exclusive, this is his girlfriend. Again, why the hell should he have to pay for it, right? Because if she's in a good financial position, she can simply rely on her reserves in her savings, emergency funds and all that to help with the bills until till this is over with, and she'll get back on track. Why should he have to pay? But guys, a lot of guys would do that. A lot of guys would not see these red flags, and they would go ahead and do that and shell out money to help her in this situation. And then later on down the road, she can end up breaking up with them, and you think that guy's going to get that money back? Not a chance in hell. So you don't do that, okay? He goes on, and wait till you hear this. She suggested that I sell my home, and she sells her home, and we buy a big place with a pool. She also suggested that we could support each other if one was struggling. I shrugged it off as best as I could and realized what a huge mistake that would be. You're damn right it's a big mistake. Do not sell your house or anything else. Don't even sell an old baseball card or whatever the hell it is to support her. She can support herself. Again, she was asking you if you were financially stable because she wanted a guy equally financially stable. She can take care of herself. And let me tell you what could happen. If you did this, you go sell your house, and she says she sells her house, and you get another house with a pool, and then how's that going to work in terms of the ownership? And let's just say that you break up. And I know Australia is definitely a very woke country and definitely has embraced the feminist movement big time. So if they break up, what could happen? Or say there's a common law marriage thing going on there. That guy may end up losing the whole place altogether. He'd be out of his damn mind. But again, unfortunately, there's so many clueless guys in this world. They would do all this type of things and get burned because they think that, that she's different or she's the one or the sex is great. Who the hell knows? But something like that. So no. Don't go selling your house or anything. He says, I'm smart enough to avoid getting trapped into a situation where I'm supporting her, but many white knights would not be. I thought you would like to highlight this to your subscribers, the hypocrisy when it comes to how women think. While she is fine with expecting me to support her, she didn't want anything to do with a man who may need support from her. Exactly. This is how many women think, and they cannot see anything wrong with this. Kind regards, Bill. So yeah, do not sell the house, do not sell anything, And quite frankly, dude, I'd really consider moving on. Because, again, this is on you, okay? I'm calling you out on this. You shouldn't be the one paying for all the bills and, all the dates and eating out and movie tickets and all that shit. It can be 50-50 at this point if you've been seeing her 8 months. And certainly she can get her butt in the car and come see you. You made a mistake there. And because by you doing that, that made her say, okay, maybe I can, what else can I get this guy to go along with? So I'm glad you stopped there at the house thing and said, no way. I'd recommend finding somebody else because because of what happened, because of her character, and because of what you did earlier where you were taking care of everything, she's trying to milk it for everything it's worth. No, don't do that. And obviously her friend, because as the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together, her friend's got the same mindset. It's not your damn responsibility to take care of her. She can take care of herself. Again, because we're all equal and women can do anything a man can do. So personally, I'd move on. Find another chick. And you find another woman in the future and she ever asks about where you are financially, or just she doesn't ask, but you're dating her. After the initial courtship, where maybe you after like meeting for a drink for the first date and it goes well, and the next date you have a couple drinks as appetizers, and then eventually you hook up, and then you have a meal you may take care of, because you're the one courting her in the beginning. Eventually you get a girlfriend, you're seeing her regularly. It can be 50-50. She can pay for the bills. She can pay for the dates. You can pay for the dates. You go see her sometimes. Other times she comes see you. It can't be all one-sided. Otherwise, you may get something like this. But anyhow, guys, I thought this wasn't very long, but it's a perfect example of some of the crap you can get sucked into. Don't do this white knight crap, guys, because it come back to bite you in the ass. Real life example right here on the other side of the globe. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. Quick video. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.